Hello everyone, this is Mrinav, and in this video we are going to look into Google Form. So by the end of this video you will be aware of how to create a Google Form similar to this or maybe better than this, and even how to look at the responses. So once your user has started filling up their Google Form, so the responses will be listed in. So now we will first go to our browser. In our browser, let us open a new incognito window. In here we are going to type Google Forms. Now if you are already logged in using the 9 dots also you can find it, but we are going to go through the normal process. So Google Form, will click on it. So after that, in this screen there are two options, one is personal and another is business. So we'll go for personal Google Forms. So as we are not signed in, so it's going to ask us to sign into our Google account, and only then we can proceed. So I'll just sign in my Google account. So once we are signed in, a Google Form will provide us with a basic template, right? An example form. So let me just give you an introduction about the layout. So now the first page, that is the first tab that is open, is a questions tab, where you can put in the form title, a description, a basic theme is being given, which is a sort of a purplish theme, right? And a sample question is there, an untitled question which is of multiple choice type. So we'll talk about it later on. So after that we have another tab, that is the response tab. So in this response tab, when we are going to create our Google Form and then we are going to share it with our audience, our students, right? In that scenario, all the responses that those people has actually provided to us will be listed, everything in here, right? And there are option to accept the response or not accept the response, and at certain times it might be useful. Now in our 9 dots we have some extra features like undo and redo. We can also make a copy, we can print it, and link and everything else. Now after that we have a settings. Now settings at certain times is important. So in our settings we can go for general, so basic. With this option you are going to force the user to provide their email address, and the form will actually collect it. Now if we don't check it, so it will not be mandatory for the user to actually fill in their email IDs, and again limit to one response. That means from one single email ID the user can only fill in one single response if you want to do that. Now there is a presentation also, so show progress bar and everything, and there is a quiz option also. So we are going to focus on quizzes for the ideas like auto grade. Now the next option, which is an I like symbol, it is for preview. So it will show you how your form is gonna look to your user, the look and feel, the kind of questions and everything. The submit option will be shown. So it is a kind of a preview of your form. And after that we have a customized theme option. So that means this part is the actual header. So if you want to change the header image, you can do that. I'll just switch to questions here. So if you want to change the header image, you can do that. You can change the theme color. So currently it is purplish. If I want to change to some other color, so you know the theme gets changed. You can change the background color to something else, and here the fonts are there. So different fonts are there. So if you want that, okay, this font is not good enough for me, you can change it to anything you want. Let us create a very simple form, and I'll just show you the different features that it has, right? So it's untitled form, so we'll just write demo form for school, right? And if you want, you can put in some description in here, right? So let us just preview how our form actually looks like now. So you can see the basic information is being given. So if you want, we can just choose a header image. So in here a great deal of default images are being given based on different categories. You can upload a photo, you can browse it from your computer and you can upload a photo, or you can also upload it from your Google Drive. So whatever images you have will be uploaded from there, right? And in here imagine I want to upload this one. We'll just select it and we'll insert it. So we can see an header image has been inserted. Again if we go to our preview, that is how it looks. So obviously you can make your form look more appealing using all this theme and options and everything, right? So I'll just close it down, and again you can change the font style also. So that is how you can create the header, and obviously the description and the name of the form and everything. We can also change the name of the form, because all of these forms will be stored in your Google Drive, right? By default, whatever is the name of the form, the moment you click it, it's gonna be there. So I'll just rename it so it is renamable also. So I'll just name it like form 1, something of that sort. or whatever you like. It's up to you. So now this part is for questions. So let us go for our first question. So we are framing a very simple question. So what type of language is Python, right? Now it will be obviously your question, whatever you want. So now here the different options are given, that is what kind of question is it going to be. So let us see the different options. So we have a short paragraph, short answer, then we have a paragraph, we have multiple choice, we have checkbox, we have drop down, right? And different kind of layouts are there, date, time, and everything is there. So now what multiple choice does is it gives you options. So you can give like couple of options, 2 options, 3 options, or 4 options, right? So what it will do, it will only select one from those options, right? So I'll just show you an example. So MCQ, so I'll just write, right? So in here we have provided 4 options, that is interpreted, compiled, both, none, right? And obviously I can remove them also. It is possible. So if we want, we can just add an option, add an image as an option also. So it is also doable. So now if we want, we can add another option also. So if you want it, it is doable. So now let us preview again how it's going to look. So as we can see, the question is there and multiple options. Now the thing is that only one of them can be selected at once. That is the idea behind MCQs. Now if I change it to some other format like checkboxes, now let us preview it. I'll just close the previous form. Let us preview it again. Now checkboxes allows us to select multiple options. So maybe your question might have multiple correct answers, right? Then checkboxes are the ideal one. But if it only has one single option, then it is always useful to use multiple choice. And obviously we can also go for drop down, and let us preview it again. So now in this case, none of the options are visible. We can just only select one of the option from the list we have provided. So in the particular sequence, so whatever sequence was given, 1 2 3 4 5, no, obviously 5 is not there, so that sequence will be shown in here, 1 2 3 4, right? And obviously if you want, you can also provide it with a short answer. So let it be like MCQ as of now, multiple choice, right? And then here are certain options, like I can duplicate this, whatever question is there, I can just duplicate it and just make another copy. So I can, if I just press on it, you can see the same question gets duplicated in another question also, right? So obviously if you want, we can remove it. So let us just remove the next one. So if I put dustbin, that option that is meant for deleting, it will get deleted. So now I have only one single question, and this toggle switch is basically for required. Now if you don't enable it, so the user, if they want, they can attempt it or they won't attempt it, as simple as that. Without even attempting also, the user can submit. But if you enable it, right, if you enable it, let us see the preview again. Now without filling the detail, a student cannot submit the form, because it is written that okay, it is a required question. That is how you can force the student to fill in. If you want, all the questions has to be attempted. So now if you want to add another question, you can just simply press on this plus icon and another question gets added, right? Let us give another question, right? And you know, Google at certain times is very smart. So as you can understand, because there is a describe word in it, so that's why it has understood that okay, a student needs to describe. That means it should be some sort of a paragraph or a short answer type. So by default it has selected paragraph. So obviously, yeah, that is what it is, a very smart system, right? And obviously in the previous case there was multiple options. In this case it's just a blank space where you can fill in your answer. Again, if you want, you can make it mandatory, and that is how it is going to look. In here you can just fill it whatever answer you want and then submit it. Does it make sense? Okay, so now let us add another question, and in this case we can also add an image to it. Search something from Google image search, like so we'll just insert a computer's image, right? And we are going to delete the previous question. So now here we have inserted in the image, and if you want, you can just put in some sort of a detail underneath. That is also doable. So if you want, you can put image title, and obviously we are not going to insert an image, but this feature is there. If you want, you can do it, right? And obviously you can import questions also from other sources. You can import question. You can also add a video if you want. You can add videos to it, maybe a YouTube video or a video that you have done. So if you click on it, so you can search it from YouTube, and then maybe a video that you have uploaded on YouTube, and based on that you want to ask a question, maybe some sort of feedback on the video. That is also doable. And if you want, you can just reorder it. That means I don't want this to be the first question, I want this to be the first question, so I can just simply reorder it. Does it make sense? In this way, you can see there are 6 dots in here on the middle top bar, and the moment if I drag my cursor over there, there is a crosshair. You can see that, right? So we can just drag up and down using these options, and that is how we create a very simple Google form. Now you can add as many questions as you want. There is no restriction on it. So next we are going to look into responses. So the moment you will publish this form, you will send it to the users, and then you can actually get the responses. And if you want that, okay, I will enable my form for a particular time and after that I want to disable it, so this option is available. So the moment you want to stop accepting responses from a student, you can just simply disable it, and then it's going to say that okay, no, not accepting responses. That is the idea behind it. Obviously at present we have only 0 responses. So I'll go in and add few more questions for just the sake of creation. So I added few more questions to our Google form. Now once you are sure that okay, this is the final form that we are going to go for, the next step that we are going to do is send. Okay, now let us click on the send option. So now there are multiple ways to send your form to your target audience, to your students, right? So now if you enable this option, collect email address, then this form will force all your students, all your users to type in their email address. It is required, right? And now you can just send this particular form to your students via the email. So if you want to send it to then you can just type in their email, right? So the moment this particular person actually will receive, the moment I hit send, this particular email ID will receive this particular form, and obviously you can change the subject because it is editable in here, and even if you want you can put in a personalized message of some sort. It is also doable. So this is one option, that is you can send the Google form via email address, that is you can type in as many email address as you want and it will still work. So in this way we can just keep on adding more email addresses. This is one of the way. Another way is through a shareable link. Now you can just get this link and you can just share it with different people. So you can just share it over the WhatsApp, you can just share it over your website or whatever you want, or even YouTube channel, everything. Wherever there is an option to paste a paste a link, you can just use it. Even in your Google Classroom also, you can just copy this link and put it in your Google Classroom. Still the students will be able to get it, right? And the next option is for embed. So now if you want to embed this particular code into your website, then it is doable, but not for our purposes. So once you have sent and shared your Google form with your students and your users, you'll see once they have started filling the response, you will see all the responses that are being listed in here. So as of now I have 3 response that has been given. So who are the responder? Now because we have enabled the email collection feature, so all the emails are being listed in here. And again the thing is that there is no mechanism to check the email, so whatever the user is going to put in are going to be listed in here. So again it is awaiting 2 responses, so these 2 people has not responded yet. Now this is a basic overview, right? It's a summary of all the responses, that okay, which user has answered which question, that kind of an idea, right? So if you want to get some sort of an analytics from your responses, that also can be done. So again the options are being listed in the sequential manner, that is email 1, email 2, email 3, the similar fashion, answer from email 1, answer from email 2, answer from email 3, and these are being listed for each and every question. So these are the questions. Now we can also have a descriptive idea. Okay, so what are the questions that are being listed and everything, and then we can have an individual response sheet, that okay, which individual has given answer to what. This can also be done. So obviously we can switch in between email address, like this email address sent to Mrinal. So this has given these many answers. Now if we want, we can just switch into another, and this particular email address, this particular person has given these responses, and obviously we have a print and a delete option. So if you want, we can print it, our response, and if we want to hand it over for record keeping, whatever purpose we need, we can do it. Or if we want that, okay, this response is not worth keeping, then also it is deletable. And obviously on these three dots, we get an option of downloading the response as CSV. So the moment we click it, it's gonna download some sort of an CSV, that is comma separated file, which will be opened in your Excel or Google Sheet, and it is being provided in a zip format. So thank you for watching. Stay tuned to the channel for more content, and if you like the video, do hit that like button. For any suggestions, do write in the comment section. Thank you for watching. See you in the next one.